everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adam, and if you love luxury fashion, then you're definitely gonna love my channel. So make sure you like, subscribe, and check out my Instagram below for all of the latest updates. And today, let's get right into it. So in today's video, you do know that I did already post my If I Were a Bag video, where I did show my Chanel maxi flap. And having that Chanel, I am able to kind of really see like the functionality of it, and really see if it's worth it or not. And in all honesty, the Chanel maxi flap, this bag used to be under $2,000 back when it like very first came out, but then the typical price was always like $2,800, which was very normal. Now this bag costs $10,000. And in all honesty, it's the same price as an Hermes Birkin. In this video, we're going to see what bag is truly worth it. Would you rather have a Chanel maxi flap, or would you rather have a Birkin? So first, let's start off with the Chanel maxi flap. Now, like I said in my last video, If I Were a Bag, this is my only replica slash mirror image. I am highly against knockoffs. I actually go get knockoffs just to kind of like get rid of them, to get them off the streets. But a replica slash mirror image, it is very understandable because, like I said, if you haven't seen my other video, I always wanted bags that represented me. I never wanted to shop at like Walmart or JCPenney because that didn't like show who I was. So at the time, I would have rather had a replica of a Chanel than have some random unbranded bag that has nothing to do with me. Because at least when people see this, they're like, oh, okay, I know what he's trying to go for, I know what he likes, and if he could get the real one, then 100% he would. And lastly, I also will say that when it comes to showing this on camera, in my other video, I hate showing this because I don't want to discredit any of my hard work. Like I said, everything here is 100% genuine and authentic. I will never show anything not real unless it's for a specific video purpose. So in this video, you will be kind of seeing this just a little bit to kind of get the idea. I don't have a Birkin. The exciting thing is I am on a waitlist for a Birkin, and I can actually get it. And this is really what inspired the entire video. Because when I get that call for a Birkin, do I want a Hermes Birkin 35 or 40 or 45? Or do I want the Chanel maxi flap that I've always dreamt of and that I could technically get? But we all know currently Chanel, they are having a lot of quality issues when it comes to like the logo. Sometimes the logo will be crooked, sometimes the material just isn't holding up. When it comes to Hermes, the quality, everybody knows. That is like the top grade quality. They have super rare products, only Hermes can use their specific leathers. And it's just so exclusive, and that bag will truly last you like an entire lifetime. So before we get into the quality specifically, let's talk about the price of the bag. Now, the Chanel maxi flap used to retail for $2,000 back in its heyday, and I really do miss those prices because that was like an actual luxury designer handbag price. $3,000, it's a very great price for a luxury handbag. But anything more, that's kind of where you get to like, oof, we really are charging way too much for it. Because Chanel, I will have the photo up on screen of all of the price increases and just how drastically you can see. But the Chanel is so classic. This bag has been around absolutely forever. Before Hermes was really like a big thing in the 2000s, everybody was all about Chanel. You can definitely tell who's a 90s baby and who's a 2000s baby based on the handbags that they like, because anybody who was born before the year 2000 is 100% all for Chanel.
My first Chanel was when I was 5 years old. I got a Chanel bag for Christmas, and then I got my first Chanel suit. Baby pink. It actually looked like this when I was 13. So I'm wearing Chanel my whole life.
Where it comes to anybody after the 2000s, it is all about the Hermes Birkin. Like example, like Kris Jenner loves Chanel.
Giving you this as your present for Friday.
What was Friday? I feel like I'm over it.
You don't like it? Okay, never
What
mind.
was Friday?
No, I'm just saying, it's like your Friday gift.
Totally do get like that generational gap, and then especially when it comes to like Kylie Jenner, she has like nothing to do with Chanel. It is just all Hermes. So that right there is a very great example of all the older Kardashians always carry the Chanels, and then the Kylie and the Kendall, they only carry like the Hermes and the current brand. When it comes to that fact, I do think that is very interesting about like how the different people will carry the bag. Also because of that fact, and me myself being a 90s baby, everything was always about Chanel. It was never about Hermes or the Birkin. That Chanel maxi flap is honestly like my holy grail of handbags. And I want this bag so bad. It's honestly so perfect. Just showing a little bit of this one that I currently have. I will say that like the chains, just like the chains, how they move right here It is just so perfect and iconic. Messenger, crossbody, over the shoulder, whatever you want, this bag can do it. The enormous pocket that actually does fit your phone. 1000% perfect. I love it. And then I just love how like easy it is to use. You just go ahead, open that twist lock, pop it open. Coco Chanel, when she had an affair, she had to hide her love letters. So she made this cute little zip pocket. It doesn't go down, so like if somebody is trying to like do something they're not supposed to with your bag, this part will totally confuse them, especially if they're straight. But if they know, then they know that it only goes upwards, because this is where she would hide her Coco Chanel love letters. So that is so cute. I love that fact. In here, giant pocket. It's actually where you're supposed to keep the chain if you like want it a specific way. And then we do have like the double flap where we do see the Chanel. Now, of course, at the time when I was 20, I didn't know that this was a huge tell. Obviously, it should be a lot lighter on the inside, but it's still the same inside, like the same like setup. You have your two pockets right here, and then your lipstick holder, and then you have this pocket right here, which is so great. Back when I was like a heavy smoker, I always kept my like cigarettes and lighters in that spot, and it was so perfect. It really did like, it was just so great. I use this so much that it does have a hole right here and a hole right here, so right here it does have to be like stitched back together. So I am glad about that though, because if I did get a real one, that would be a concern. Like I do have my Balenciaga crush bag right here, and this has like the same opening as this, like that flap goes like that. So when it comes to my Balenciaga denim bag, I do worry about it ripping in the corners right here, because, you know, this was just like a great example of how a style of bag would work. So when it comes to that, that's something that I do want to look out for on the real Chanel. And then also when it comes to this, so this one specifically is made out of cowhide leather, and that's also why I have such a big problem with Louis Vuitton, because all of their bags are cowhide, and if replicas and mirror images are cowhide, why ever would you pay the price of like $7,000 for like a cappuccino bag when you could just get it for like $400? And again, like a knockoff, absolutely horrible mirror replica images honestly makes me mad how good they are, because I like everything real and I just want to know it's real or not. If you don't care, then you know that's great for you. But for me, I want what I want. I don't want like the second best thing. I don't want a fake thing of something that I really want. I want what I actually want, and I want the real thing. So when it comes to me, that is how I shop. But because this is cowhide, I'm not sure if the real one would do this or not. But you can see here, let me see if I can find it, but the chain, the leather of it, it's actually like breaking, so probably from like going like this so much, in all honesty. So again, because this is cowhide, I don't know if that makes a difference in the chain, but I will say like I do have a real Chanel. Like my Chanel Trendy is so classic and iconic. When you go ahead and open it, you can see that this chain is actually made with lambskin. So I do get scared about the chain for lambskin. I feel like the leather could end up like falling apart eventually, but I'm not entirely sure. I think caviar would definitely be like the most perfect choice for any Chanel bag. But I will say, like, even this one is now $6,000. This one should be $3,000, but it's $6,000. And if I sold it, I could get $9,000 for it. But in all honesty, it really does beg the question, is a real Chanel for $10,000 worth it at this point? So when it comes to Chanel, we all know that Chanel is made with real gold back in the 90s and really, really great quality. Everybody still would prefer a vintage Chanel than a current day Chanel, because back in like 2006, I want to say, or maybe 2008, they stopped using real gold. So as soon as 2008 came, the real gold stopped, and then we started to have quality issues where sometimes like the CC on it would be like crooked, or even like the flap itself is just not like straight, and it's like, let me do this to give an example. It would be like that, you know, like nobody wants a bag that looks like that when it's supposed to be like that. So, you know, that is a big difference. And going to Chanel, there's just so many problems now. So that really begs the question, is a real $10,000 Chanel Maxi Flap better than getting a Birkin? Because I've always wanted a Birkin as well. I've wanted my Chanel Classic Flap more because it is just honestly like my most perfect bag for me. In all honesty, if I had to choose one bag for my entire life, it would be this one, 100% hands down, not a question about it. Now Maxi Flap is the bag that I will take with me as a ghost, and this is 1000% the bag for me. But that said, the Birkin. Now let's go back to the history of the Birkin. So when the Birkin first came out, it was always the same price. I believe it was always like $8,000 or $10,000. it was always dramatically higher than any other bag, and that's because Hermes is one of the first brands to truly like ever exist. It's not the first real handbag ever created, but they are one of the first companies that started to make leather products. They started with horses, cars, and I do have an entire Hermes history coming up soon. I'm doing a lot of research on it because I want to get every single detail right, so stay tuned for that. It's honestly one of my most exciting videos that I'm so excited to share with you guys, because the history, there's just really nothing like it, and nobody else has truly made like a good video about it, so I'm excited to do it. But when it comes to this, the Birkin, when the Birkin was created by Jane Birkin, when she was like complaining about she didn't have like a correct bag to use, they designed the bag on the plane, and then we all know the story from there. But the Birkin is just so iconic. Now the Birkin specifically is made from Togo leather, Epsom leather, then they also have a lot of other leathers that I can't really pronounce, but all of their leathers is 100% exclusive to them, and it is extremely rare. Now the quality they use real silver, real platinum, real this, real that. There is no cowhide anything, there is no quality issues, like anything being crooked or anything. Now the bags are handmade, so like the stitching, when you get a Birkin, it will have stitching on the sides like this. However, the stitching is not going to be perfect because again, it's handmade, so it's not going to be precise and even. It might be like a little wobbly, but it's also like a very special thing. But also when it comes to the quality of the Birkin, like the wear and tear of it, they wear so good. Now, I will say, I was a little disappointed because I did go to Hermes recently and I did see a Birkin, and the Birkin was already slouchy. And I'm like, I don't want to pay $12,000 for a bag that slouches. But you have to know what leather you're getting. Togo leather will slouch. I want my Birkin specifically in Epsom leather. I will not accept any other bag unless it is Epsom leather, and that is why my Birkin on my waitlist, it's like if they get it, they get it. They don't. Nobody ever asks for Epsom, they said, and they don't ask for it in a 40 or 45. So they're like, this is kind of like a rare request because where we are in like my town, nobody really even like shops Hermes to get a specific ask for them. They're like, oh yeah, okay, cool, we can do that. So I'm really excited because if I do get that call, then I can go get my Birkin. But it's like, do I want my Birkin or do I want my Chanel? Now, the Birkin, I will say, I do trust that it will last longer with quality. I don't think I'll ever have to get it fixed, and I think I can pass it down to my daughter without ever having to get it fixed. But if I get the Chanel, I think I will have to get it fixed, take it to the Chanel spa, maybe get it cleaned up a little bit, and then give it to my daughter in perfect condition. But also when it comes to the bags, they have such a good investment quality to them. When it comes to the Chanel flaps, we all know the Chanel flaps is a classic Chanel handbag, and all of Chanel classic bags, they do a yearly price increase. So in all honesty, I hate to say it, but this stupid bag is probably going to be like $20,000 by the time I actually do get it. Now again, I could even just sell this one and get the real one that I want. However, I can't let any of these bags go. It is just such a big part of me. But the price is never going to stop going up for an actual Chanel bag. But I do feel like Hermes will just like cop out at a certain price. It's like, we've always been 10,000, 12,000. We're not changing the price. This is what you get. You're paying what you get for the quality and just like the statue of it and the investment. Because as soon as you buy a Birkin, it doubles or triples in price. So what I mean by that is a Birkin is $10,000, $12,000. The second you walk out of the store with it, you can sell that for $20,000 instantly. Now, if you have a crocodile, that honestly goes for like $80,000. It would be $20,000 in the store to buy like a crocodile Birkin, but if you sell it, you could sell it for $80,000. So when it comes to Hermes, they also have a policy that you have to sign. You have to promise that you're not going to sell your products, and they do kind of tell you that like if you actually read it, it says like somebody will actually keep like an eye out and like see for like the serial numbers. Like if you're a first time customer and then they find your Birkin the next week on a resale website, then you're going to be blacklisted and you're no longer going to be able to buy Birkins. Birkins, they do not want too many people to have them, because if too many people have them, then it's too easy to fake, and then the fakes and everything, they just get like confused, and then it just becomes this whole thing. But when it comes to Hermes, the Birkin, it is really good, and it's like the holy grail of quality. So comment down below. Tell me what you specifically think. Do you think a Chanel is worth it, or do you think an Hermes bag is worth it? Would you rather have a Chanel maxi flap of your dreams, or would you rather have a Birkin of your dreams? So definitely comment down below. I'm really excited to hear all of your opinions. And in all honesty, maybe it will help me. Now, like I said, I really do want the Birkin. The Birkin's going to be the most perfect bag. You can fit every single thing in it. However, I can fit everything I need in the Chanel Maxi flap. And this one, I don't have to carry it with a top handle. I can put this one over the shoulder. I can crossbody it. But one thing I love about this is you could actually make this into a top handle. So you just go ahead and pull the straps like this a little bit, and then what you would do is you would take something and like tie it, you know? That way you only get like this much up top, and then voila. So if you like lock this in place with like a cute little lock, and then, you know, you do have a top handle, and you could even put it in the crook of your arm. This bag is honestly just like 1000% universal, and just like, this bag, it's a masterpiece. I want this one so bad. But again, the Birkin is just like, you know, you're here to slay, you know? Like, you walk in the room with a Birkin, it triumphs over any other handbag, even the Chanel maxi flap. If you see somebody with a Chanel and a Birkin, you're like, oof, more power to the Birkin, you know? But I do think that is a huge fact of it too. So again, comment down below, tell me what you feel about this bag. Thank you so much for watching, I really do appreciate it, and have a great day. Au revoir.